What's up, guys? It's Mr. Victor here, and today we're gonna be working on Soundtrap. If it's your first time, it's gonna be a lot of steps, and I hope that this video will help you follow along and learn how to use it. And if you've used Soundtrap before, treat this like a review, so that you pick up a few new techniques that you might not have picked up during our lessons earlier. So Soundtrap can be accessed through thorpe.me. I'll usually have it on the grade level if you just press the number, but if not, you could always easily find it when you press Explore. And I have it here in the corner, in the very top there. There it is. And when you press on that, it pulls up a page that has all these numbers. Now, it's really important that you choose the correct number. So whatever your number is in class, between 1 and 33, make sure you use the same number, because what might happen if you start mixing these up is saved your work on the wrong number and you come back the next day, you forgot, you're on a different number now, and now you can't find it and you might have to start over. So really make sure that you're consistent and use your own. So I'm going to use 33 just for the example. Now I have a program here so that it automatically fills in the username. All you have to do is copy and paste that. And copy and pasting is a pretty useful skill to know. If you just drag the mouse across and highlight all of that. See, it's highlighted blue. You do Control, hold Control down, don't let go, and then tap C. It'll look like nothing happened, but the computer actually memorized what you just highlighted. You can place the mouse down below, and you hold Control again, don't let go, and you're going to tap V. That one, you got to make sure you tap, because if you hold V down, what's going to happen is it's going to paste a bunch of them over and over and over. You just want one instance, copied and pasted. And if it's your first time, I recommend you have Soundtrap memorize that password, so you don't have to deal with that anymore. If you haven't been on to Soundtrap before and you haven't been on in a while, it might take a little while to open up. Just be patient, give it a couple minutes, and it should work. You see mine opened up very quickly, and I'm doing this on a Chromebook too. When you open it up, you have the front page here. These are all the songs that have recently been worked on by students. Might not be yours, so be careful. Feel free to listen to them. You have these example songs. Go. Okay, you have all these examples. Let's hear. Well, that one's called Headphones Warning Bobby. I don't know if I want to press that. I don't know if I want to listen to that right now. Totally lit example song. Let's hear that. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't even remember doing that. I must have called a kid up and demonstrated how to use the microphone. So hopefully yours will sound better. So anyways, you can listen to those, but what we really want to do is start creating our own song. This purple button here, Enter Studio. And again, this might take a couple minutes. Just be patient. These are like starter packs, these templates. They're fun to look at, and they are pretty good examples. But I really recommend you start with a blank one. I like to just start fresh. So let's go ahead and get started making our song. All right, so let's start composing our song. There are two key elements of this program that I want you to learn how to use and get acquainted with today in today's lesson, and we'll learn other ones later on. That's the collection of loops and samples and the timeline. So those are the two areas we're going to focus on. Let's start with the loops. If you press this purple dot that's got like music notes on it, it has all of these different sounds, these different loops. So these are just basically little musical segments that are free to use, and you just drag them into your song and compose it that way. That's one way to compose. These have been pre-recorded. All you have to do is pick the ones you like. So let's hear this one. All right, so that one's a beat. Let's hear another one. So it's got a different feel to it. So I'm pressing these triangles, and it lets me preview. Now, there are thousands and thousands of these loops. So they organize it for you. So you have your beats. And if you erase the word beats, you can see something else. They have piano ones. So let's hear one of the piano ones. When you open it up, featured is automatically going to be written there, and I recommend you leave it on. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and they give you on the menu these recommended items. They'll put a star next to certain items. Those are the ones they really want you to order. So you should probably order those unless you're feeling really adventurous. And I'll say this to my advanced students, I've done this before, you guys can actually erase the word featured, and it shows you all 10,000 different loops. So if you have heard a lot of these loops before and you're just getting tired of them, feel free to erase that. For our beginners, we want to leave it in there. So actually, I like to start with a beat for my song. So let's do beats. Let's pick one of these out, kind of like a foundation. That one's okay. How about this one, Blazing? No, that one's just obnoxious. I don't like that one at all. How about Trapped? All right, so I really like that last one. So what I'm going to do is there are two ways to add it into the timeline, which is right here in the middle. Okay, the first way is to just click and drag, and it adds it automatically. All right, let's pause that so you can hear what I'm saying. Another way, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to click on it and press backspace, and it goes away. Another thing you can do, you just double click on it or double tap it. I'm going to use a touch screen like you guys would. You notice that it added it into my timeline, but it added it into this track here. It added a track just for my beats. So if you're looking for where you can find your beat after you add it, that's where it would be. And then you can move it around. So you could put it later in the song or earlier. Now right here, this right here is called the playhead. This is very important. This is what shows you where we are in the song. So right now, it's in the beginning of the song. And if I put it here, we're at, so far, that's the end of the song, unless, of course, I add more to it later. Now, what's going to happen when you play your song all the way to the end? Watch this. So it starts over. And maybe you don't want it to do that. So it's this purple bar right on the top here. You can press that purple bar and unhighlight it. Here's what happens now when you get to the end of your song. It gets to the end, and now it's just nothingness playing. We're listening to nothing. But you notice that the playhead is still playing. So you got to make sure you return the playhead to the start. And an easy way to do that is to press this triangle here. It's like a triangle crashing into a wall. And it brings you back to the beginning of your song. Okay, so we have this beat. It sounds pretty cool, but the song is really short. If you put the playhead to the end of what we have so far and look in the bottom of the screen, you'll see 27.4 seconds. That's very short. I don't know how many songs you hear on the radio that are less than 30 seconds long. So what I'm going to do is extend this beat. I really like using this beat, and so I'm going to just use it for most of my song. What you do is, remember, if we click on top of that segment, we can move it around. But if you click in the corner, there's a little curvy arrow, and you see it shows up. It says loop. You can loop that over and over and over again. And you could drag that as far as you like. So I'm going to drag it all the way to, on the top, it says measure 35. The measures are just a way to divide your song up into even chunks so you can keep track of where you are. But on the bottom, it looks like I stretched it. It's almost 2 minutes long. 1 minute, 56 seconds. That's good. I can work with that. So now I want to add another loop, but I want them playing at the same time. So I'm going to erase beats. Let's do like a synthesizer sound. Synth. Let's listen to some of these. Okay, that one's good for Halloween time, and it kind of matches with that like modern hip-hop aesthetic. Again, you don't have to do it this way at all. This is just entirely my own kind of idea. You could compose your own style, your own genre, and use whichever loops that you want. So I'm going to add it there. And you notice I didn't start it from the beginning. I could if I wanted to, but I kind of feel like having it start later. Now you want to be purposeful about where you place the segment. This synthesizer should come in my opinion, at measure number 5. So we've had 4, full measures of just the drums, and then it comes in. That's pretty cool, but what if I did it the other way around? I want to start with the synthesizer and then have my beats come in later. Now, I feel like it's a little fast for my taste. I want to slow it down. But to slow it down or speed it up, that's done here on the bottom. So right now it's 70 BPM. That's beats per minute. I want to slow it down to about, we'll say 60, just a little bit. Put that in that value and press enter. You'll notice that my segments are a little stretched out now. Let's hear the new and improved song. So I think that has a much better feel to it. Now, right about now, we want to make sure that we don't lose all this work we've done so far. So I'm going to click on the top. Instead of Flort Music 33, song number 10, I want to actually give that a real title. So when you click on it, you could erase all that, and it's going to be called Mr. Victor Song from Video. And then I'm going to save it. And depending on how much you have in your timeline, how much you've arranged here so far, it might take a minute or so to save it. So just be aware of that. So that's all for today, and I'll hopefully see you soon.